What's going on, guys? Dev here. First and foremost, before anything, I would like to say thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I know they're not perfect, and I'm not the type of person who'll play a game like if I'm never die or anything. I just play as I go. But I appreciate you guys liking my videos, and well, as far as setup goes and everything, I'm working on it, but I'll keep trying and doing the best videos that I can. But today I want to show you guys the system that I've been using lately to do some of my captures, and that is the Polymega. Now as you know, the Polymega is kind of like a mix of emulation and original hardware, which plays a certain amount of systems from NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, Super Famicom, 32X, and then it also plays TurboGrafx and PC Engine. Also plays CD games, so it plays PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, and Neo Geo, and the PC Engine CD or TurboGrafx CD. So it plays imports and domestic games, which is cool. Now I myself have quite a few collection of games. I have both American and Japanese. I don't have any PAL or any of the European games. I don't know why, to be honest with you, but I don't have any of that. So mostly it's going to be US and Japanese that I have. Most of my Japanese collection is actually on my Sega Saturn. Unfortunately, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to collect much for the Sega Saturn while I was growing up. I didn't really do much collecting on the PlayStation 1 either, but those are pretty much easier to purchase, through eBay or mom and pop shops, thrift stores, whatever the case. Sega Saturn, not so expensive, especially how it kind of really failed here in the States. As far as other systems, Neo Geo CD, of course. That system, I wouldn't say it was hard to find, but it was pretty expensive, and I honestly could not afford that when I was younger. TurboGrafx, something about it that is piquing my interest now, but before it, growing up, it was just either Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. TurboGrafx to me really didn't attempt to make you buy one, especially the games we got. We hardly got any games. Now you go on the PC Engine side, and man, now they got some games, especially when the CD system came out. I was lucky enough to purchase a Dracula X and the god awful Street Fighter, but yeah, I mean, it would have been better if we would have gotten those games. And of course, even Street Fighter, come on, this game is pretty freaking awesome. I'm lucky enough to have all three Street Fighter 2s, Genesis, Super Nintendo, and this one. So yeah, I think they just dropped the bomb. They didn't know how to market it, or I don't know what they were doing, but that's a story for another day. So as you can see, this is the main menu. This is what's gonna start up the second you turn on your system, and it'll give you the different systems where you can pick the game you want to play, or second line here shows you games that you've been playing, so you can just go ahead and start where you left off if you got a save point or anything like that. Then right here, the third one, recently added. So this basically shows the games that you recently installed in the system. So As far as memory wise, it's 9 gigabytes of internal memory, but you have the option of going ahead and adding your own storage capacity. So what I did is I had an old Xbox One to save all my games. As you can see, I mean, I have quite a few games installed right now, and I haven't even filled up 1 terabyte, so which is cool. I'm gonna try and see if I can go ahead and install all my games and see how much more room I have in them. So we'll see what happens there. And this is a memory card installed for patches. Now the cool thing about the Polymega was that there's certain games that you can patch to fix up. The ones that I've been trying to do are Street Fighter Alpha 2, so it can actually add the arcade music to that game with no pausing in between rounds, because the Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the Super NES is a good game. It's what one of my favorite YouTubers, MGB, Modern Vintage Gamer, shout out, calls an impossible port, and I believe it because it's the music doesn't sound so great. I mean, it looks amazing, and there's loading times, but I mean, I don't mind the loading time. I would prefer, like, if I can at least fix the music on there, it would be awesome. Same thing with Super Street Fighter 2 on the Super NES. I love that game, but if it kept the music going like the Genesis version, it would have been better. But there's also a patch that you can use to have the music of the 3DO version, which was really nice remixes. So that's cool. But yeah, so far, excuse me. So far, I've been slowly adding my collection here. So like I said, it plays imports and domestic games, and they don't run that bad. There's a few things I don't like about it though. It's when you are playing the game, you see like a little flash here or something. Like if it's glitching, like I couldn't explain it, but it feels like it's having trouble reading the game completely. Maybe I could be wrong, but it doesn't do it often. If it does it mostly on the cartridge systems. As far as the CD games, really haven't noticed too much problems. Now, one thing though is when you are playing a certain game, you see like a little ghosting on there, but if you go in the settings, you'll be able to change that. You'll be able to change that so it can look normal. So it's nothing you can't fix. It's no problem. So now, like I said, the cool thing about this is it does play games really well. So for example, let's go with alright, let's see here. We'll pick this game right here, which is freaking awesome. Okay. Now it'll be the load times are not as bad as it was on the original systems. It still goes by pretty fast. So it's not a big deal if you don't like load time. So it's not that bad. And the cool thing is, of course, as you see here, it plays games that require the 4 meg cartridge, so it's not a problem. So it works fine. So now it does come with a PlayStation 4 looking controller. I mean, it's okay, but really don't like it. But you can, any USB type controller that you have, you can go ahead and use that. I actually purchased a Sega Saturn wireless controller, which is perfect for these types of fighting games, of course. And it works flawlessly. I love it. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you noticed, the loading time wasn't really that bad, especially on these games that need the full meg cartridge. You can see it works perfectly. I have no problem controlling it, of course, because the controller I'm using. I mean, the stock controller comes with is not that bad, you know. But if you want to play Saturn games, then the Saturn pad is like the best. The cool thing about this Saturn pad is, you know, I don't necessarily have to use it just for Saturn games. It works fine with everything. Of course, mostly 2D. If you're gonna do, you know, the 3D games, well, you're probably gonna need a controller that has a analog stick. Now, I've heard that you can probably connect like a PlayStation 3 or 4 controller. I really haven't tried it, so I might try it and see if that works. So if I can use a PS3 remote on there, just connect it with the USB cable, that'll be, you know, the USB cable, that'll be cool. I don't know if you guys noticed it while I was playing, that there was like a little ghosting there. So, you know, I could just go into the settings, video, and this is what you can do. Enable the blur. It's kind of like blurry, and you take that off, and then it works better. So yeah, so that's, as you can see, that, you know, so far that one works flawlessly. And cool thing is, you can save your game. You can continue from a later time, you know, at a later time. You can actually, you know, for the this game's like Final Fantasy 7, 8, Metal Gear. If you have those for the PlayStation 1, you know, when it comes time to switch the disc out, you can just use this menu right here to go ahead and switch out the actual CD without actually changing the CD. Or if you, especially if you have all, it's easier when you install them, you know. So yeah, that's Saturn games. You can see here's obviously not my whole collection, but that I've installed yet. I mean, Konami, Capcom, those are two of my favorite companies growing up. So, but I still have all the actual Sega games on there, and it's cool because it actually has a list of all the Sega Saturn games. And if you see here where it says collect, it'll highlight the ones that you have. But it gives you, it gives you a list of games that are available for the Japanese Saturn. Now, as far as my US Saturn, these are the ones I currently have. I think they have maybe 2 more that I haven't installed. But the same thing, you know, it gives you a list of all the Saturn games available in the US, and the ones that are highlighted, you know, are the ones that are in my collection here. So unfortunately, like I said, it's a little harder to get US Saturn games, and unfortunately, when I was younger, the ones I did have, like for example, Street Fighter collection here, or shit, Mega Man X4, I totally regret getting rid of them because now they're pretty expensive. But yeah, it's the same thing. You know, it's easier when you just have A through Z. This shows the games. 32X. So far, I got rid of most of my 32X collection. I was actually thinking about getting a full collection. There's only about 40 games. But to be honest with you, there's only a few that I really wanted to play. And these are the only 2 I have downloaded right now. I have a few more that I haven't done. Sega CD, same thing. I have quite a few. Now Snatcher, not gonna lie, Snatcher was not the original disc. I actually purchased a reproduction, which is basically a burned CD, and crazily enough, it works great. It plays burned CDs, which is awesome. Now, one thing is, on the CD books, as you can see, it says Play Rate Audiobook. You can actually pick the music from here. You can listen to the music,
Gillian, I have an urgent video call for
or in
David.
this case, you know, voices. So, and the cool thing about it is, I don't know if you've been listening to the backroom music that I have here from Marvel Superheroes. It's a Captain America, but certain games, I'll let you start the audio player. Well, this ain't one of them. Will allow you to change that music. So before, let me see. I wonder what I did with it. Okay, so I don't have it. But before I was playing Wu-Tang. I don't know if you guys ever play Wu-Tang. The Wu-Tang game on the PlayStation. Originally it was a game called Thrill Kill, but it was too crazy. So, okay, here we go. So, just finding the one, which is Ken's theme is one of my favorites. Here it is. So you get to hear a little bit out of it. But let's say you want to hear that, so just press A. And what it's going to do here is just going to go ahead and copy it. And I didn't know that you could do this with the game installed because the game is installed already. It's not in the system right now. What I have, the one game that I have in the system, even though I already installed it, was Vampire Savior. So that's awesome. This is something I just found out right now. So just a few more seconds here. Alright, so I'm just going to stop here. Wait, I already set this up. So I'm going to pause the music. Oh, I accidentally deleted it. How dumb am I? So we'll start again. Alright, I'm going to set as background music again. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't take long again. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call this a review. I would say better it's an overview of what I've been using lately to create my videos. Pros and cons. It's tough to say those things too because it's mostly my opinion. Something I might not like, maybe you like. And here we go. Alright, there we go. So now I went through. So yeah, it's awesome. So now we hear Ken's theme from Street Fighter the movie, or how it's called in Japan, Real Battle on Film. And it'll loop. It's gonna loop a few times here. Now, unfortunately, I got tired of the ones I had before, but like I said, it's cool because you can switch them out, and you don't necessarily have to install the game in here. To change the music, you can just switch out a CD game that has Audio Red Book and switch it out. But once again, I won't really call this a review. It's just like my personal overview about the system. What I really like is, you can play all these systems, which pretty much most of the systems I grew up playing. It'll play the Japanese versions, the American versions, and the PAL versions. But actually, I just, like I said, I don't really have many versions from the PAL region. And all of these are original cartridges that I do have. You can, if you want to use original cartridges, even with this installed, it's going to work fine. Nothing's going to happen. But sometimes, it's a hassle looking for the cartridge and, trying to get it in the system and switching out the mod. I think that's the one thing, because the CD games, you don't have to worry about keep switching out a module for the CD games because it's there. That's stock. Now, if you wanted to switch out and play the other games, Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES, TurboGrafx, so yeah, you would have to switch out the module. That's one of the reasons why I just went ahead and download it, and it makes it a lot easier, or not download but install. So this is real quick before I finish up. This is just the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine version of Street Fighter, and for some stinking reason the controllers aren't set up, and the music sounds pretty close to the Super Nintendo version. So do the voices. the game looks really good. Now of course there's some graphical differences from the Super NES. I don't know if you know, but I'll show you right now real quick. But and when I mean graphical differences, I mean just a few little details that are missing from the stage. So let me just finish this guy off real quick. So it's kind of a mix of the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo here. So I'll just save it. Alright, so we'll exit. So now we'll go. Now as far as don't believe I have it on the US. Well, I have Super Street Fighter 2, so that wouldn't be a fair comparison. But here we go. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Okay. So now, hopefully I get Zangief again, so you can see the level itself. But we'll see. Pick, and of course the music does sound. Oh, look, that's awesome. Alright, so you see, not sure if you noticed, but the cage was missing from the turbo graphics, you know. So like I said, it's not much of a difference, but you know, and the voices are a little clearer here, and the extra bells and whistles Capcom did for the Super Nintendo version. But the voices sound a little clearer, and a few details that are missing on the stages, which is fine. I mean, it's just little bit of change here or there, nothing big. But I mean, as far as graphically, it doesn't look that much different. So that's really cool, and it's cool that I, and hopefully you guys get a chance to play the TurboGrafx version. It's pretty cool, but like I said, it plays NES, all these systems, which is really cool, and it's so far the controllers that I've used to try out USB, they work fine. So if you as you can see there, I started from a load game. If you're interested in getting this, I would see if they have them available. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the situation is with Polymega at the time, because they also have a Nintendo 64 module, which I'm very, very, very interested in purchasing. So hopefully, and they're sold out right now, so hopefully, in the middle of the year, or hopefully by holiday, I'll have that module, and it gives me a chance to start recording Nintendo 64 games, maybe make long plays. Obviously those are going to be pretty difficult to play in one sitting like these older systems. But yeah, Polymega, pretty cool system. It's not perfect, but I really appreciate the things that you can do with this, especially when it comes to the the installation of games. And it pretty much uses it'll also use it MSD or MS, the internal memory for it also. But I might get one of those in the future, and it's pretty easy to switch out, or not switch out, but it's easy to transfer the games from one memory storage to the next, so it's not bad. But I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you want to see. I